Navy football getting ready for a huge game this Saturday as they host Tulane in Annapolis at noon. Joining us now, this man, my guy Pete Medhurst, who we're all thinking about. He calls him the money man. He is Daba Fofana, and he is with us this morning here on GCR. Daba, it's Glenn. It's great to chat with you as always. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Dude, before we get into anything that's gone on this season, there was something that I saw. You spoke to Pressbox for a 10 questions, and they asked you the question, is there an exercise you hate doing? And you gave the answer, not that I hate doing it, but the one that hurts the most is Bulgarian split squats. Now, understand, I'm a 41-year-old man that is not in my athletic prime. I do cardio, I lift a little bit, I when I heard Bulgarian split squats, just that sentence sounded painful. Can you please to be explaining to me what the hell that is?
So basically, you'll have your leg up on a bench or something like that, and it's pretty much like it'll be up behind you, and you'll be squatting with your front leg, whether it's with dumbbells, and sometimes I like to do it with a barbell just to load more weight up. But yeah, it targets the quad so much that it just burns like crazy.
Bro, I'm gonna continue to let you have those. I am not gonna be introducing that into my repertoire anytime soon. Hey man, great to chat with you. Obviously, great day for you. For this team and everything you guys went through, things not going your way against Notre Dame, and then just the craziness, right? Like of that trip that followed up. How much did it mean to just get back to work, get back in the win column, and sort of wipe the taste out of your mouth of the previous 2 weeks with the performance you guys had against USF?
Oh yeah, it meant a lot. I mean, we just needed to find our rhythm again, and we're a school that defines ourselves on coming back from adversity, and those two games were definitely some adversity we had to face, but it meant a lot getting back into the rhythm, overcoming that adversity, and having some momentum going into this big game.
So, take me through, because I know everybody, at the beginning of the season, things were going so well, and then you have this sort of dip. Did you guys have to have like a meeting, like a come to Jesus moment, something like that? Or do you guys not need those types of things? Like, it's a veteran enough group that nobody needs to say anything. We all know what's at stake.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that we needed like a whole meeting and stuff like that to say what we needed to do. I mean, those two games we got away from ourselves, and all we just needed to do was get back to what we were doing before, mentally, physically, and just keep grinding and just pushing through that adversity. So it wasn't really like a whole big we needed to completely change what we're doing. It's
right.
What we need. We need to get back to what we were doing before.
Dobby, you, of course, being one of the veterans on this team, right? Like, how much of that did you sort of take upon yourself to say, okay, I've got to show the way. Like, this is my role now. This is I'm the guy that's been through all of it. Like, I've seen everything here. How much of that fell on you?
Oh, a decent amount falls on me, but it's not just me. It's all the seniors too, because we've all been through the ringer. We've all been through a lot of stuff together, and the younger guys, the freshmen, and even the sophomores, they look up to us to be examples through this adversity, and they look up to us to be examples through even the adversity we face off the field. So it's like I take a great deal of responsibility for it, but it's not just me; it's all the seniors too.
Daba Fofana is with us here on GCR. Navy getting ready to face number 25 Tulane this Saturday in Annapolis. Daba, obviously what's at stake, right? Like the opportunity to win the American, something that Navy has come close but has never done before. And, there's still the outside shot of a spot in the playoff. I know that you guys have lots of goals at Navy every year, and starting with beating Air Force, that was a very good thing. But what would it mean to you for you guys to put yourself in the position to win a conference championship for the first time?
It would be an absolute blessing, because our senior group, we talked about leaving a legacy, and the past 3 years we haven't been winners, and that's just a matter of fact. But this season, being in a position to even get into a conference game playing against Tulane is an absolute blessing, and I know all of us are going to make the most of this moment, and just to do everything we can to control what we can control and get in there. And it'd just be an absolute blessing.
It's a huge game, obviously, but you guys are no strangers to big games, right? Like Memphis was a big game. All of the Academy games are clearly big games. The Notre Dame game's big game, even if it didn't go the right way this year. How much does that, like when you see something like this and everybody around the country talking about the importance of it, how comforting is it for you to know, well, we've been there before. Like we know what this is all about, playing in games like this.
Yeah, it's super comforting because we can look at the past and we can see, what we did right, what we did wrong, and apply it to future moments like this game or even the Army-Navy game coming up or the championship if we get there. It serves as a great repertoire of lessons that we can use to apply to the future.
Daba, I saw this week that Blake Horvath was named the Davey O'Brien Award semifinalist. Can you kind of describe what he has brought to this team since last season when he took over, the steadying force that he's been, and how deserving he is of all of this recognition that he's been getting this season?
Absolutely. I mean, I've seen him grow since the plebe year, and I'm pretty sure he's talked about it where he wasn't anywhere near the player that he is today back then, and seeing him grind every single day to get better and become the player that he is absolutely awesome. And to the offense, he just brings like this calm state of mind and just an absolute like knowledge of what we're supposed to do in every single situation. Like I've never seen this guy flustered at all. Like it's always been, like if we're down, he'll be like, "Hey, we got this. We just got to, do what we do," and just keeping everybody level in the way that he operates the offense and just. Yeah. And even just the ability to get us out of sticky situations. Like I've seen him do some crazy things to, get the ball to, some playmakers on the outside and all that stuff. And it's insane. And he deserves this more than anyone on this team, really. I mean, he's faced, he's faced injury last year, worked through it, came from nothing to one of the best players on our team and in this league. And he's just, it's awesome to see him get the recognition that he deserves.
What is it that we need to know about Tulane for people that again only see the little number next to them and say I don't know because they're just not paying attention week in and week out? What would you tell us about what it is that makes them so good?
I mean, I could say it's just they're a great disciplined team with a lot of athletes and they do their jobs really well. They play hard and that's what makes them them. That's what separates them. But yeah, I mean, they're an awesome team to face, and they'll definitely test us for sure, and I'm looking forward to it.
And obviously, they're no strangers to big games either. They were in the championship game a year ago, right? And like some of those guys were on the team a couple years ago that played in the Cotton Bowl. Like they know a thing or two about big games too, right? So they're not going to blink in this moment either. All right, Daba, I gotta dive in with you a little bit more. Do I remember right that you are looking for? I know service assignments are coming up, and are you trying to get into the medical field? Correct.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about that. Like, where did that come from? Why is that something that you have interest in your service moving forward?
Ever since I was young, I always wanted to be in the medical field because of just the way that the human body just interests me in terms of how uniquely designed it was, how every single process fits in with another process, and how God just perfectly designed our bodies. And I could see myself studying that in the future. And honestly, I didn't really want to go into military medicine until I got offered from the Naval Academy because I wasn't really considering the military until that point. And but then I just looked at how rewarding it is that I could be serving my brothers and sisters who are out there fighting in those theaters and taking care of their families. And this could be people that I'm unbelievably close with, like even people on the football team, like that I'm shedding blood, sweat, and tears with every single day. And it's just that just be something I could see myself doing in the future.
You don't find yourself like helping out with the training staff during the course of the season at all, do you? Like, hey man, I want to learn a little bit more. I got it. You don't do any of that, do you?
I do ask some questions.
Okay.
But yeah, just to get some more knowledge.
Do you have any? This actually could come in handy when someone else is doing the Bulgarian split squats. That you're in position to be like, here's how to most appropriately recover from the pain that you're going through right now.
Exactly.
Do I remember that in addition to football, you're also a musician?
Yes, I play the cello.
So tell me about the background. Like, I feel like the path of cello, medicine, and being a fullback is not like the path. I don't think that's the most traditional path for everybody in the world.
Yeah, but by God's grace, he's allowed me to do it so far.
So where did that interest come from, and how do you continue? Like, do you get to play very often?
I mean, in the past like few months, it's been really hard considering that we're in season. But I mean, in fifth grade, I decided to play the cello because I went to a private school and they were like, you had to pick between either band chorus or orchestra.
Okay.
And orchestra kind of spoke to me, and I chose the cello because it wasn't something I could easily break like a violin, but it wasn't too big to lug around like a bass. And yeah, and then just the chip on your shoulder that you get when you're like competing for like the first chair spot in an orchestra it kind of carried me through middle school and then high school, and then I just continued to love it. And it's another form of expressing myself outside of football.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Hey, by the way, this explains why it is that you're a leader, because already at 10 years old, you were thinking big picture about the appropriate instrument to perfectly carry around, whereas the rest of us were just like, whatever, man, the clarinet seems fun. I guess I'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just on different wavelengths when we were at that point, man. Daba Fofana, just another minute or two with him as we're getting ready for Navy Tulane Saturday in Annapolis. Daba, I'm not trying to end it because obviously we're hoping there's a lot more games ahead for you guys, and we know there's going to be at least a bunch. But reflecting on what it has meant to you these 4 years in Annapolis, can you put into words what this experience has done for you as a human, how fulfilling it's been through, as you point out, all of the ups, the downs, the coaching changes, every trial and tribulation that you've experienced, what it's meant to you to be a Navy football player?
Man, that kind of is hard to put into words, but I can best
I bring it up,
like,
I guess for people that don't know, this is almost certainly going to be the final game in Annapolis. I guess that you guys could still host the championship game. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I feel like there's got to be an amount of reflection about the possibility of this.
Yeah, honestly, I never thought this day would come. I mean, thinking back as a freshman, like people say that your time at the academy flies by and you don't really know until it actually does, and I'm feeling that right now. And I can say that just looking back on everything that I've been through in the past 4 years, I can tell you that I've grown in so many different ways that it's even hard to describe. Like in my faith as a man, just being around, the team all these years and being around all those great guys. I mean, it's amazing, and God has done some amazing work in my life through this academy, putting me through the trials that I needed to in order to gain strength, gain patience, everything like that, and to even be in a position of captain where, like, I didn't even see myself when I was a freshman, and it's been an absolute blessing just going through all of that. And I feel honored to even be in this position right now, and I just can't wait to ball out on Saturday for senior day.
I love that. I was gonna say, like, being the captain of the Navy football team, does that like set you up? Like, is that? I feel like there's only like 2 steps between that and Senator Daba Fofana, right? Like, that's pretty much the way that it goes, doesn't it?
I mean, I can't say all that, but it's definitely an awesome role, and I loved being in it with Colin too.
I love that, man, and obviously what a great dude he is as well. Daba Fofana.
Absolutely.
It's been a joy to watch you play, and obviously, as we said, we're hoping there's a lot more games and a lot of big celebrations on the way starting this Saturday against Tulane. You're not like much of a social media guy, right?
Not too much.
Okay.
Occasionally.
Is it worth telling anyone to follow you on either Twitter or Instagram?
I mean, I could go ahead and tell them.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Where can they follow you?
Yeah, they can follow me on Instagram. It's it's Daba2Valid, like the number 2, and then Valid, just a name I came up with my senior year with a bunch of my friends.
There you go.
Kind of a stupid name, but
that's
where you can follow me.
But Daba, if we were all judged by our dumbest social media handle, I promise you that 19-year-old Glenn Clark would take the cake. I promise you that's the case. Daba, congratulations on everything, man. Go get him on Saturday. Thank you for spending the time with us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.